Hey everyone, so we are here. This is the first session of the placement preparation program. So I can see some of you have joined. I'll wait for a few more people to join. So today will be more like an introductory session to help you understand what we are going to do in this program. So you would have a basic idea that based on what is given on the website, but in order to get you more familiar with what is going to happen and what you should expect and in general how you should approach placements, so we have got the forms that you have filled that based on what you're expecting, that you are looking for on campus or off campus, the kind of roles that you're applying for. So we have a very good idea about what you're expecting and what you are looking for, and accordingly, like, we have tailor made this program. So today will be just an introductory session. You can ask your doubts in the chat. You can let us know your suggestions in the chat. uh, but I'll just go through what we are going to cover in this program and how you should approach placements or the job application process as a fresher, in general, some general guidelines about it. Great. Okay, I'll just wait for a couple of minutes before starting. So meanwhile, if there's anything you want to ask, you can ask in the chat. Hey guys, so I see some more of you have joined. So anyway, I'll get started. So, like, for those of you who have just joined, what I was saying is that, like, this will be an introductory session where we will just go through what is going to happen in this program. So you have heard placement preparation, but what are we going to do exactly? And like, we have professionals from different domains coming in. So what is it that you should expect and how you should prepare yourself, like how to make the best use of this the next few weeks, and in general some guidelines about how to approach placements in general. So great. Like, you can put your questions and doubts and everything in the chat. I'll come to that towards the end. Like, we'll have a general discussion. But before that, like, welcome to the program, guys. So as you know, this is like an 8-week program where we will cover everything that a fresher needs to know while approaching placements. So it's basically an 8-week placement preparation program. So we are trying to cover all the possible roles where you can get hired as a fresher. So both on campus and off campus. I know majority of you are sitting for on campus placements, but there is a huge world out there off campus also. A lot of companies don't come to campus, but they are still hiring. So you should be aware of these things. And that is the goal of this program. The biggest goal is to bring clarity as to what is out there. So who are we? So Flink, we are part of Flink Up, and along with us, there are professionals from these companies who have come together to create this program for you. And just a little bit about me. I graduated from IIT Kharagpur 2014, and I joined Flipkart after that. And after that, I have worked at a few startups before starting Flink Hub 2 years back. And I have interacted with so many professionals who have, who are still hiring freshers and who are hiring freshers, like be it Flipkart or at companies like Truebill. And basically, similar to me, there are many others who are coming in from companies like KPMG, Microsoft, Amazon, Byju, and Paytm, and Goldman Sachs. So these guys themselves are hiring freshers, and also they have direct experience of hiring freshers. So what you can expect from us, you can understand, is that what is the thought process of a company while hiring a fresher, and how you can fit your resume or your story to that expectation. So that is very important. So so the first question is why prepare? So why do you have to prepare for placements? It's something that you go to college, and at the end of the year, at the end of the fourth year, you sit for placements, and uske baad ho jata hai placement. So why should anyone prepare for it? The most important reason is to understand which companies are hiring, especially given this special kind of time that we are in, with a lot of changes happening in the world. And it's important for you to understand which companies is hiring, and why are they hiring a fresher. It's not like they have an obligation to hire freshers every year. So if I take the example of Flipkart, they used to hire business analysts every year, about 100 business analysts every year. So the reason was because they were growing fast, and they were scaling up different categories. They're scaling up their supply chain. So they needed freshers who could basically work on Excel and help these teams achieve their targets and analyze why things are happening and all those things. So that is why Flipkart was hiring. And recently it has gone in a different direction. It's mostly hires for product roles like APMs or product analysts. So that is because that is where they're focusing right now. So similarly, it's important for you to understand, at least on a broad level, which companies are hiring and why they're hiring. So if a particular company is coming to your college, you should know why they're hiring and for what role they're hiring. So that is part of preparation. And second is, what roles should you target? So you can't target every role, right? You can't if you are that person who is going to sit for, I mean, there's no harm in sitting, but if you're just blindly targeting everything and throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, that is not the right approach. You have some strengths, some things that you have done in the past, some things that you are good at. So you should align those things to the roles that are there to maximize your chances. So by understanding the roles and understanding yourself better, and aligning those two things, you will know which roles you have the best chance. And if you put all your energy and focus in that, your chances of getting there is much higher than you giving your energy, distributing your energy to all the different roles that are there, going for software also, finance also, or operations also. And so just an example. So that is also very important part. And the most important part is like after you're finalized that, this is what I'll target, how do I get shortlisted and convert that opportunity? So applying to companies, or sitting or placements is very easy. Like there are so many companies hiring, even in these times. So like, don't worry about that, because even after COVID, there are a lot of companies hiring. And the most important thing is like not applying to companies, but getting shortlisted there. And then if you get shortlisted, how do you convert the opportunity? So college placements is a great place, because one hurdle for you is cleared. Like you don't have to apply to companies like blindly or like in a cold manner. They are coming to you. So the first thing, important thing for you to do is get shortlisted. And then if you do get shortlisted, like converting the opportunity is like it's an obligation that you convert it. Like it's the best chance that you have, you should convert it. So similarly, even in off campus, like uh, knowing how to get shortlisted and converting and how to convert is important, and that is what you should prepare for. So I'll just tell you like what are the roles that we are going to cover. So uh, like these are some of the major roles for which companies hire freshers. So like business analyst is a very common role. Like companies like Flipkart, Paytm, Swiggy. So like it's a very broad role. Like you can't exactly say like what it is that you're going to do. It varies from company to company. So we will cover that. Like week will be dedicated to that. So people who are interested in that, so during that week you'll understand if this is for you, and based on like what the role is, what the work is going to be like, and based on what you have achieved so far, you'll understand whether this is right for you. Similarly, consulting, so we'll have someone from consulting coming in. Software, so software and data science are pretty straightforward, right? So if these are things where you need to have already started, like I'm sorry to say, but if you haven't started doing something in software, like at least preparing data structures or algorithms, and in data science, if you have not already started somewhere, it's very difficult for you to get right now. Like in the college campus placements, it will be super difficult. But that doesn't mean like you can't still aim for it. If there are still ways to get in. It will take some time, like maybe 5 to 6 months if you're getting started right now. But there are still ways to get in, because the software is the field where the most number of freshers are hired. And similarly, sales, marketing, operations, finance, product. So we'll talk about all these in the coming weeks. And what is the learning path going to be like? So learning path in the sense like the path to get placed or get that first job in any domain. So first, like I said, understand the role. Like what is it that the company wants, and what is the role that they're hiring for. Then you have to build your story. So your resume is nothing but your story. A company or like person who's reading your resume should be able to it shouldn't be just like a list of things that you have done, like that you had to do and you had done. It should be like, after reading a resume, it should tell your story, and that story should match with the role that they are hiring for. This is important in, like, this is very important for certain roles where companies are hiring very few candidates. If it's like a mass recruiter, the the importance of this becomes much lesser, because over there the filtering criteria is much more lenient. But if a company is coming to hire for one or two positions, or if you're applying off campus, so that is even harder. So in that case, if your resume has to stand out, it has to really stand out. There has to be a story behind it. So we'll come to that. Like we'll have a session on resume building, and what are the must do things there, and based on that you can align your resume. And after that, like, you have to understand the interview structure. So it's always best to go prepared into battle, right? So you like you can't say that, like I'll just go and naturally give the interview and it'll be okay. I mean, you may be really good at doing things on the spot, but going unprepared is never recommended, because you don't know what's going to happen. So understanding the structure of the interview, because especially in campus placements, the people who are coming to hire also, they come with like a certain thing in mind. Key, I'm going to ask these questions. This is how I'm going to do it, because every new person, they don't want to try something new. Like they'll just try the same old tested stuff, tried and tested things. So it's important that you know that, like the structure, what is the structure going to be like, and we'll tell you that for every domain, and like we'll show you some sample interviews. So we'll have some sessions which will be recorded, where it will be like a sample interview where one person, like the professional, will be asking a question and another will be answering. Real interview will be replicated, and like we'll analyze the approach, and that that will be something that you can learn from, and you can try to replicate that. Replicate in the sense, not just copy and paste. Like you can understand the approach. Like understanding is very important, and then you can try to apply that in your context. And the most important part is like practice. So you have to practice these questions. So the reason I'm not going into detail as to what the interview question is, because it will vary for each domain, and we will get into that in the coming sessions. So whatever it is, like be it software or analyst, or like finance, so understanding the interview questions and structure that will come is important, and then practicing it is like very important. So after all this, like then you can, if it's campus placement, you don't have to like really reach out. But if you're trying off campus, then after all this is set, then only you should start reaching out. Because like if you're not prepared, reaching out is just a 1-minute thing. Like you may reach out to a company, they may reply to you, or like they'll see your CV, and if all these things are not in order, like you lose that opportunity. Like the next time you apply again, they will just they won't even look at your CV. They'll see that, okay, this guy has already applied and we had rejected him. So I mean, there's no point in going back. So it's important that like this part is covered. And be it any product, like people build the product first and then sell it. So you are the product here, so you have to build yourself first, and then you try to sell. Like you try to reach out to companies. So like for on campus, like we'll cover all these things, but in general, like as you also know, these are some of the things that happen in on campus selection process. There would be like an aptitude test, so that's pretty straightforward, or a technical test if it's like coding. Some cases they'll give a case study, like for APM roles or product analyst roles, and then there'll be an interview. It'll be technical and like a general HR interview. So we'll cover all these things for each domain, and for each company that is coming in. So off campus is little more tricky, right? So it's but at the same time, it's that's where like most number of opportunities are. So where should I apply off campus? So like these are the best places as far as I know. Like these are the best places where you can reach people off campus. So like one of the things that most people do is simply reach out or apply on job portals. The chances of your resume being read there are very low, and like you getting selected there is like very low, because like the number of people who are applying there is very high, and companies don't have the time to really sit and even read everything or like filter out people. So you really have to stand out. And especially in off campus, the companies might be hiring for maybe like one or at max two positions. So in that case, like you really have to like somehow like make an impression on their mind. So it can be like by reaching out on LinkedIn, or so in angel.co also, like especially startups have a lot of job postings there. So there you get to directly message the person who has posted. So if it's like a small startup, it's usually the founder or like the core team, someone from the core team who has put up the post. So you directly get to reach out to him. So Twitter is not like a job portal, but it's also like starting to become a medium where people are uh, like reaching out to each others. Because so I'll tell you the trick in Twitter. So a lot of people who have huge followings on LinkedIn don't have much of a following on Twitter. And especially like founders or people who are running companies, they are trying to create a following on Twitter. So they'll put up some status or some tweet, but there may not be like much too many replies there. So that is your opportunity to get in and try to interact with them, like reply to their tweets. So this all happens after like you've shortlisted a few companies that you want to reach out to. Like this is especially valid for startups again. And then again, it's your network, people in your network who are already working in companies, or people who are already uh, like recruited somewhere. So these guys can help you out, and also like your seniors, your alumni. So I mean, network is the biggest like and the most efficient way of getting into like a job. Because ultimately, like for a recruiter, they don't know anything about you. So if anybody else can even like vouch for you in a very simple way, or like even in a small manner, like it's a big thing. If I tell a recruiter that I know this guy, that itself gives you more weightage above all the other people who are just sending their CV to them. So while approaching people off campus, or companies off campus, especially on LinkedIn or AngelList or Twitter, or even if it's through your network, like somebody has connected you to someone and now you have to send them a mail. It's very important, what you write there in the mail. Like what I usually get is something like this: I'm a fourth year student of IIT KGP. I'm looking for job opportunities. Please find attached my CV and let me know if you have any leads. So like I understand that you're looking for job opportunities, but just because you're looking for job opportunities, why should I hire you, or why should I even help you? Like you have not given me anything more than that, to show that you are sincere about this, or like why you're right for this role. Or like even if I don't want to hire you, like why should I even help you? So there is like you have not made any kind of personal connection with me here, and this is my first impression. And after this, like I won't reply to you, I won't accept your connection request, and it's gone. Like your opportunity has gone there. So compare this to something like this. Like you understand about the company, and you say that I've been closely following what you're doing, and this is what I've understood. So it's very easy to there's so much PR news articles out there. It's easy to understand what company is doing. So then you try to say that where you come in. It can be anything like very simple. Like it doesn't have to be something that that is going to change the course of the company, but it has to be something that shows that you have done a little bit of homework. So you can say that, okay, I have been following your company for a while, and this is what I've understood. And like being a student, I have a few ideas which could work, and I'd like to discuss this, and I want to contribute to your marketing team. So like this is something that I would genuinely get on a call with, at least. And you know if I do have an opening, or even if I plan to get someone on board, this is someone I'll genuinely give a chance to. So like this is the first step, like getting shortlisted. So like make sure when you're doing it off campus that you get these things right. Like you do your research about the company. Like if you don't do any research, especially like I have got on calls with people who have applied, and after that they don't know what my company does. So I mean that, like, that is a very very bad thing to do. Like, you just say that, okay, I, especially be it jobs or internships, like if you don't know what my company does and you have just applied blindly, I'm not going to hire you. Like this is the same case for like any company on campus or off campus. So if you don't put in that effort, like nobody's going to even consider you. So like the question that many people have is like, what can I offer as a fresher? Like I don't have much experience. It's something that I'm going to learn on the job. So it is true, like 80% of the learning that you're going to do is going to happen on the job. Like, whatever you have learned till now, it's going to be useful in some way or the other. But like what the actual job that you're going to do for any company is going to be learning on the job. Because like so be it like a company like Flipkart, you might know from the outside what Flipkart does and what it is. But like there are a lot of things on the inside. They have systems, they have like a database, they have different teams, and teams work in a particular way. They have a process. So all these things only you'll understand after getting inside. Even if you are like as a software developer, you're getting there. Like the way they have uh, you know their their teams function and operate and collaborate. Like it will be something that you'll have to go and learn there. But even though like you will learn on the job, there are certain things that you must have to offer before you even join. So what are these must haves? You should have at least one of these, like not all of these. Like any company is expecting that you have at least one of these. So like if you are a software developer or if you are going to a technical role, they expect you to have certain technical skills that uh, because of that they are hiring you. Or if it's something like you have a past experience, like you have done some internship or done projects in some particular domain. So it can be like software, it can be marketing, it can be anything else, it can be operations. So that past experience helps you stand out. Like that is what you have to offer. Like you already know something here, and you can help the company in that. Or it's like general problem solving skills. So this is something that like most people have an opportunity to have in college. So like this is something you can show through your like some significant positions of responsibility, or like something that you have participated in, or like some basically something that you have taken ownership and you have solved through your general problem solving skills. So this is what like you can offer to the company, if depending on the role. So and beyond all that, like in a fresher, what company looks for is like growth potential. So even these mass recruiters or companies like even startups or companies like Flipkart. So what they look for is not that you're going to like change the course of the company on the first day itself, but that you can grow fast and you have the learning potential. So that is what they are going to judge you based on. And like once they see this in you, basically in you means like they have to see this first in your resume and second in your interview. So these two things are being judged, and then they will cross check certain characteristics. So like these, you won't get hired because of these characteristics, but like you can get not hired if you lack some of these characteristics. So you have to make sure that that is what basically the HR round, or the interaction, they are trying to judge whether you are dependable, or like you're not unpredictable. So companies, like certain companies might uh, be afraid that like if you have a very if you're doing a lot of work in your core field and you're still also sitting for placement, so like they don't want that unpredictability that you'll take the offer and you'll not join them. So that genuineness has to come through. Ownership, like ownership means that like you are going to take ownership, like you're not going to always be dependent on other people in the company, or that like you're somebody doesn't always have to handhold you in the company. So that you have to show through your interview or through your resume, and that you're sincere basically. So these kind of things, like there is no test to do this, but like these are things that we find out basically, like from talking to you, from when you talk about your past experiences, and also like when you when when we maybe give you a task, the uh, time you take to get back, or like the way you interact. So all these things, like sincerity is like heavily judged, and like if you have all the other things but you lack this, like you cannot get the job. So that is, be careful about these things. So, and like I said, like willingness to learn on your own is also very important. So how to make the best use of this program? So like I said, in the coming weeks we'll have professionals from different domains and companies who are going to come and talk to you about the roles that they have, and the hiring process, how to build your resume, and a lot of things. So it's going to be a lot of information to process. So you have to prioritize, like you can't, like I said, go for all the roles. So you have to prioritize like what you are going for. And after that, like you have to get, like use the program to get clarity about the roles. Like like it's it's a great opportunity to like directly interact with professionals and understand like why companies are hiring. So uh, forget about the fact that you're still a student, or you're still like a fresher. So uh, think that you have to understand these things, because ultimately, like the more you understand, the better you can communicate about the same thing. So make it a point to get clarity about the roles, about the company, about like the interview process, all these things, and then make use of the program to build your story. So like I said, your resume is your story. So even your interview is going to be your story. It's a way for you to communicate like who you are, what you're good at, what you have done in the past, and like what you can offer to the company. So like make use of it, and then like practice, because like without real time, like real interview practice, like you can't crack the interview, because uh, interview interviews like are something that can go either way. I mean, you can never predict, or like you can never predict what's going to happen, what's going to be asked there. Like the interviewer has a lot of things in his mind, and some in on some days, like it could, he himself could guide you in the right way, and on some days, like it could be just a place where both the interviewer and the interviewer are not speaking, because it's not going anywhere. So all these things uh, can become better with practice. So like you'll have to practice after like watching other people's interviews or understanding the structure. You'll have to practice with each other or with yourself. With each other is the best way. You'll have to practice for interviews. So here's something like that want you to do before we do the next session, like which is going to be next week, next Saturday or Sunday. We'll inform you about that. You, like right now, I know like you'll have some rough resume, so build it. Like I said, build your resume in whatever way you can, send it across, and build a LinkedIn profile and send your LinkedIn URL, and write a 4-line intro about yourself and why you want to become XYZ. Like if it's software developer, like why you want to become software developer. So why you want to become, you can say that, like I said, like I showed earlier, it can be because like I'll give you the example of why you want to become marketing, like why you want to get into marketing. So it can be because you understand that target market, or you understand things in marketing, or it could be because you have done internships in it. It could be anything. So just think about it, write what comes to mind, and we'll definitely refine it. It will be the first step for you. So consider this like the first step. It doesn't have to be your best version, but give it your best shot. So send it across, and like I said, like let's start from now. I mean, put put your entries like across to hello@flinkup.com, and as I already said, like we want to get clarity about the roles. So ask all the questions that come to your mind in the Telegram group, and we'll answer. So obviously things will be covered in the session, but like you have to slowly start getting out of this mentality of classes and sessions, because in the work environment, in the job environment, nobody takes classes and nobody does sessions. You have to go and ask what you don't understand. That's the only way you learn. So let's start with that mentality right now, and hoping to see you guys asking questions in the Telegram group. And then we'll start with the next session in the next weekend, and we'll start with, like I said, build your resume. Next session will be on resume building. So build your basic version, whatever it is that you have, send it across, and we'll address those points that are missing and that should be improved. All those things we'll address in the next session. Great. So yeah, so this email ID you can send hello@flinkup.com. Okay, so I have a question: how to approach startups. So I think I've covered that. Basically, you approach them on angel.co. You go through your network, go through LinkedIn. But what is very important is how you approach it. Like what is you have very, like everybody has a short attention span. So you have a very small time to capture somebody's attention. So it's very important that you approach startups in the right way. So I gave you an example. If you have like any specific question, like if you have some startups in mind, so you can't just go out and say that I want to approach startups, and startups will come to you. You have to see which startups are hiring, and then try to build your story around that. So go to angel.co and see which startups are hiring. Like at least that is the first step for you to do. And then if you want to know more about that startup, or if you want any help in drafting a message, like you can reach out in the group, or you can reach out to me. I'll help you with that. But the first step is for you to understand which startups are hiring and what roles they're hiring for. How long hiring process will last? Hiring process, so it depends. Like so if it's on campus companies, like they usually have like aptitude test first, and or whatever coding round first, and then usually people who are selected get to into an interview, and everything happens in a day. So if you're talking about that process, it will be like over in a day. If you are talking about off campus, also like companies generally get back within a week. If they if you don't get a response, that means you have not been shortlisted. So uh, so or they didn't see your application yet. So if whenever they see things, they usually get back as soon as possible if they are hiring. Can I apply again and again? No, that is the thing, Rao. You can't, because you can apply obviously, but your chances are like much lower after the first time. So the first time you have to like give it your best shot, uh, because companies already, everybody has like a HR management system where your email or like your details are already entered, and if it's rejected the next time, like you'll be given much lower priority, unless it's like after a duration of like, let's say, 6 to 9 months, and you have significantly changed uh, like your resume and your skills. So other than that, like if you're uh, hoping that you apply now and you apply again after 2 months, like that's not going to work. How to make LinkedIn connections? So like I said, approach them, try to find out like what they want. So like they are not here to talk to you. Like there could be something in which you could contribute to them. So try to understand what it is that they need help with. And so like basically it could be something very simple, like it could be that you help them connect to uh, someone that they are looking for, and that way you make a connection with them. So uh, and I mean like real connection. So I'm not talking about the LinkedIn connection where usme to like everybody accepts, because everybody wants to increase the number of connections they have, so everybody accepts your connection, but when you actually send them a message, they may not reply. So if you want to build a real connection, you have to you have to help them first, or otherwise you have to have some kind of common bond with them, if it's through someone else. Resume check with software using the keywords. In very big companies, they they have some kind of basic filtering, but like it doesn't really work. Like even if you have all the right keywords, uh, I mean, like it's very difficult to get through that like the application, the resume selection process, because like this is the truth that is out there. Like a lot of companies put fake job postings also. Like a lot of companies will especially big companies will put up postings just as a marketing gimmick, so that people know about their company. So like on platforms like Naukri, thousands of applicants are coming there, so they are getting a branding. Like people are looking at there and they're sending the resume, and then they don't know what happens with the resume. So I'm not saying this is always the case. Like you should make your resume have the right keywords, but just doing keyword stuffing is not going to help you. Like to the person who is reading the resume, uh, that is ultimately a human being, and for them, like think of yourself in their place. Like would you be able to read if your resume was somebody else's resume and you are a recruiter, would you be able to read the whole thing? Like that is the first step. Like, or would you get distracted कि यार इतना सब कुछ लिखा है, मतलब like I don't want to read this. So that is a question you should ask. Good resume does make any type of impression? Definitely. It does. The resume's purpose is to make enough of an impression for like for them to say कि यार हाँ इस बंदे से बात करके देखते हैं, इसका मतलब इस ठीक ठाक लग रहा है इसका प्रोफाइल, इससे बात करके देखते हैं. So I mean it has to like stand out in some way or the other, like with what they are expecting. Is getting internships easy than placements? Yeah, I mean, getting internship, it depends. So like not every company hires interns, because like again, they like even if they're paying lesser money than a full-time job, like they still have to handhold the interns. Like, and for that they'll have to somebody who's already working in the company has to spend their time. So it all depends from companies to companies, especially in startups. getting internships is much easier than placements, because startups are themselves not sure about where they are headed, and whether they can give a full-time job. So getting internships is easier. And and certain companies have an internship process. So like Microsoft, Amazon, Flipkart, and a lot of these companies have a dedicated internship process. So they have the system set up. So in those companies, you can always get an internship and get a PPO. I mean, that can be targeted. Yeah. So as you will be going to explain the role of freshers, do you also share info about key skills? Yeah, like we will be sharing the skills that are required for these profiles, and how you can build these skills. Like we'll be talking about that, which people can be contacted in big companies. So yeah, big companies, like what really works is like referrals. So you have to find someone or the other who's working in those companies, because otherwise, like you can go through like a recruiter. So the thing with big companies is like the the people who are running the company or who are working in the company, they won't really be like the people who are recruiting. So they will have given it to some recruiter or an HR person. So like having some referral is important. So try to find out on LinkedIn, if you have people, who are working in these companies, or who know someone who's working. So it's always easy to navigate like that, and get hold of someone who's there. Where can we apply for internships? Again, angel.co is a very good place to apply for internships. Just go and check it out. Like there will be a lot of open internships there. And Internshala is also there. These two places are good enough. I mean, there are a lot of internship opportunities there. But don't, like I said, don't blindly apply. Like don't go and like start filling the form. See the name of the company, Google search for the company, like try to find articles. Like you do a simple search, you'll know that what the company is doing. Like you'll get a good idea. So use those things in your message. Like I said, like when you're sending a message to people while applying, you have to use the information that you have found out about the company, and send it back to them. So when somebody has done research about my company, like I'll be impressed, and I'll at least give you a chance to have like an interview. Okay, great guys. So going back, let's like I said, I'll send this presentation also to you guys. So do these three things, and after that, like let's do the resume building session next weekend, and we'll tell you where what needs improvement and what needs to be done better. Like we'll address all those points, and uh, like yeah, like we'll take it forward from there. Okay, see you then. Bye.